Going on, guys? It's me, Shukashu. We're back with another Musume video, and you guys are probably wondering what am I doing on the just chilling on the main screen or main lobby and still have a run, you know, just saved up and all that. And today's video is gonna be a little bit different because today's video is just gonna be a chill video of just me just basically responding, mainly just responding to the comments. And just a little bit of update on myself and why I'm having this day of just chilling whatsoever. Because also I think tonight is also the League of Heroes, so I decided it also helped me to decide that this will be okay for today's video. Since the League of Heroes is tonight, and I still need to go record global and Wuthering Waves and all that. So if it wasn't obvious by how I look or all that, the look on my face or whatever, I am tired as heck. I've been up for 2 days straight as I'm recording right now. Probably most likely still awake by the time this video's up, because prior to recording this video, I was building my PC. I pretty much spent the whole night doing it. And I pretty much feel like I have everything built. Like everything is already secured. All the necessary plugs or whatever, plugs and all that are in their necessary spots, hopefully, and yeah, everything's just set up. So everything, all I really need to do is see if it all works. 1, turn on and all that. 2, I just gotta install Windows, and after that, well, I have a new PC. But I was trying so hard. I was trying so hard to get it done before I recorded all the videos for today. Just, you know, but you know, sometimes things just doesn't go as planned. As it just took me a while, longer than I was, I assume, because I was thinking a couple hours at most, like 5 hours at most, if I were to really struggle. But I was really struggling because there were certain moments where there was one moment specifically, I forgot which moment. I was figuring out my fan situation. This a lot of fans. I think a total of 10 fans. Cable management, obviously, but honestly, it wasn't that bad to just as neatly as possible have to fix the cables. I guess what also took me a while is because since it has been like 10 years, 10 years? Definitely more than 10 years. Over 10 years since I built my last PC, because I didn't build the current PC I'm using. That one was during the COVID times. So this one's pre-built. Or yeah, it was, or I had someone built it, I guess, because I chose the parts. Technically still pre-built or just built for me. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. But I think I'll probably go more in depth. Maybe I'll make like a short. I say short, I might end up speaking for like 10, 15. Well, 10's fine. Maybe like 15, 20 minutes. Possibly even more. But Yeah, maybe I'll make a like shorter video. Just, I guess, maybe showing my PC or whatever and all that. Or I'll just talk about it. I don't know. I don't know. Right now, it's just literally just sitting behind me somewhere. Because I didn't want to leave it nearby me just in case I bumped into it or something. So until I test it, which would be after all the videos I will be recording, which would be this one, global, and Awuwa, because of Chisa. She got released, and I still didn't record it because I really wanted to try play Awuwa in the new setup, but that's gonna have to wait for, I guess, tomorrow. I guess when I record story. So that will either be tomorrow or Monday. Either or, regardless. But yeah. Will I say 2 days of no sleep? Like, as I was literally as I was trying to get this video started earlier. I don't know if I was saying it properly or saying it the way I want to say it, but basically before recording the video, I already had to press record and all that, but I was just sitting there making sure everything was set, and then next thing you know, I just quickly dozed off and I caught myself. I was like, uh-oh, this is not good. So yeah, that's another reason why I ultimately decided to go with it's a simple video of just going over the comments pretty much and just a little update on myself. So also yesterday, obviously, I said that I thought I lost the video. That was because I think I explained it. I didn't have to explain it because I basically showcased it or showed it again, replayed it. As I was just basically repositioning myself, I accidentally hit the, I guess, windscreen of my mic, and it just tapped the mute button that's on the mic. And that's why I thought I lost the whole video, because I didn't know when it happened. Because I noticed it literally towards the end. So like right now, I do see that's a recording, so everything's all good. Everything is all good. But yeah, PC's built, just need to test it. I think since the store that sells all these amazing PC parts it's far away, it took like just to drive itself altogether probably took like 4 hours, and then stayed there for like, I think we stayed there at least 2 hours. I was there for a bit, I know that for sure. And then yeah, when I got home, I chilled for a bit, but I was just mainly just like on the computer, pretty much prepping myself mentally before building the PC, and then eventually I think around like 6:30 p.m. is when I started building the PC. Man, that took a while. That took a while. But I've done it faster, definitely. That I probably could have at least get it done within an hour or two. Honestly, it would have been an hour if I was really used to really used to build what was I talking about? It would have been an hour if obviously if I had pretty much used to building, but I don't even think maybe 2 hours would be the quickest. I just don't think, and it is possible, I would say. definitely possible, especially if you're not really OCD about the cables or whatever. So yeah, either expect a video or expect me just add some clips or whatever in some future videos or whatever of the new rig that or new PC that I built. But first I need to test it out and make sure it works, install Windows, and make sure, yeah, everything's all fine and dandy. But with that being said, I guess I should start, not I guess, I should go over the comments now and try to make this video shorter than how it's been so I can jump into global. That way I can finish global as soon as possible and then record WUA. And then once I get all of these videos edited and uploaded, well, that's when I can continue building the PC, or not building the PC, finishing off the PC by obviously checking if everything works, everything's turned on, and crash. But I'm gonna start going over the comments now before I just keep talking about different things or just the computer build itself. Honestly, with how tired I am, I can't even recall how I was a few minutes ago earlier in the video, so I apologize ahead in advance, but it's probably too late. Probably too late. But the first comment that we'll be going over is from Rick. I think it's the only comment. Could be wrong. No. I am wrong. I am wrong. But the first comment from Rick says, finally did my first run this scenario. I got a UC Agnes Digital. I think that was better than mine. But yeah, UC was pretty much the norm at the first like 2 weeks. Nova says, Rick's strong. And then Rick says, send the guy with UA Umas. And then Nova responds with a surprised emoji, while Eugen says, nice shrunk, but yeah, said by the guy shrunker. Well, I don't know if you noticed, Nova, but I don't think. But I don't think you noticed, but I think I'll be the one to tell you, I guess. But I don't think you notice if you basically saying, you know, like Rick Strong or downplaying yourself and all that, or anything along those lines, doesn't depending on the person, it doesn't really, I wouldn't say sit well, but just like what Rick, you might get a reaction like that, or like how I would react also. So I would literally say something like that also, or said probably something like said the guy with all the cards or something like that, right? So yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's true, it's true. It kind of means less, or it feels more, I don't want to say disrespectful, but I guess, yeah, you could say disrespectful, but not really necessarily disrespectful. Oh, when you, Nova, aka the guy with cards that makes it possible to get UA for yourself and all that, the guy with the cards and all that, says something like Rick Strong, we are way behind from you, and that the comment really doesn't, or response in this case, doesn't really mean much to us, because we don't necessarily see it the way you do. So you probably get a unintended response, but that's probably what you wanted, right, Nova? Right, Nova? That's probably what you wanted. The unintended response. And then lastly, comment from, or the other comment from Rick says, Turf, I thought League of Heroes was dirt. Well, I believe in, it was the last video, right? Assuming it was the last video. Didn't you just ask? Hold on. What did you ask last video? Sorry, my brain is all over the place. Was most likely a response to the Kita video, yeah. What is the next CM League of Heroes? I haven't trained on the new scenario manually yet. I don't think it was there. Because unless you forgot to respond to that in the last video, but let me see. Let me see. Oh yeah, last video, no one else commented between Nova and Tanoki. So yeah, that was. What did you say? Well, in my defense, I think the reason why I said Turf was because League of Heroes was literally around the corner, and I had already, I had remembered probably a week ago, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I had said that the League of Heroes was dirt many times. Matter of fact, the whole prep time. So plus the Umas I was training was for dirt. So an assumption to that, I assume that you were asking about the next DM, which is Turf Mile, so just the opposite of the League of Heroes, basically. As in just Turf. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. You're right, it is dirt. But I didn't know if from that question specifically. Oh, I guess. Well, yeah, no. In my defense, you literally said what is the next CM League of Heroes. So my assumption was, yeah, it was correct. Where I thought you had already known the League of Heroes based from me saying it in the past. So I gave you the next CM, which was Wild Turf. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Pretty much. But yeah, that's dirt. Next one's Turf. Either way, yeah, pretty much what I said. Next, but thank you, Rick, for the comments. Next comments are gonna be from Nova, and the first one says, "Is it just me, or does new Uma's release interval get shorter?" I don't think it was. It's always 2 weeks or 10 days. I believe once in a while, like eight days. Usually that it's 8 days or around the length of League of Heroes, or just the length of the League of Heroes. So I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, yeah, usually the banner, let's say the ones that get released prior to these events, the League of Heroes and DM, they're usually around for like 10 days max, I would say. But pretty much whenever they appear is that date, and then you can just buy. What am I mixing topics in my head? I think you guys just I think you guys just witnessed me just like ultimate Forgot literally what I was just talking about. I even tried the release interval. I feel like it's always been like, I try to go back to it, been like 8-10 days. Basically the duration until the end of the League of Heroes or CM for these banners that get released prior to the event. For others, it's usually about 2 weeks. I don't know what you mean by shorter. How long is Buena Vista's? 27. No, I think this is normal. This is normal because it's right before the League of Heroes. It'll go away after literally right after the League of Heroes, and then we'll get a new banner at the end of League of Heroes. So it should be fine. It should be just fine. Actually, we should be getting the Christmas banners fairly soon also. At least based off the date. Based off the date. But let me just do this because I left the page, the comments page. Rick says, from what I understand, we get either new Umas or Umas we already had, but with costumes 2 times a month, unless Side Games drops a 2-star new Uma. We get 1 banner on the first week of the first month, and then chill onto the 20th something for the other banner, around 23 or 24, I think. Around the same time, CM League of Heroes ends, and we get new scenario. Nova says, there are 2 things that Uma does differently compared to my other gachas. 1, there's a distinct lack of Uma rerun banners, and 2, I'm so used to the 2 weeks interval between character releases. I wouldn't say 2 weeks because, well, I guess for most games it is like around 2 weeks. I can't say the same for Hoyo or Wu, they're like 3 weeks. I don't think it was any longer than that, but yeah, something like that. Anoki responded saying, reruns are for the bad gachas who rely on excessive artificial scarcity to compel people to pull. Much prefer a gacha that just makes likable characters, add them to the pool, move on, and maybe toss in a single ticket for the Dolphins. And then Noah says, I honestly don't even know why Uma has this gigantic single pool of Umas. In Arc Knights and even Blue Archive, they have already split the old character pool from the new ones. Honestly, I'd prefer they do that to some extent. The list of Umas is growing so fast, and you want someone like Rick to pull Donna from a single monthly 3-star ticker from that pool. Insane. Then Tanoki says, they should remove old supports and characters from the pool and have other quicker means of getting them. For starters, anything in blue tickets or daily legend races should be removed. Frankly more. My scathing criticism of other gachas being extra exploitative and even animalistic doesn't imply Uma couldn't be improved. And then Noah responded back to Tanoki saying, I get the sense that you're the type of guy who just doesn't play a gacha because of the atrocious gacha system. I, however, am just the opposite. I still play Stellasaur despite it being outright predatory. Not gonna lie, Uma's gacha system is definitely not a fan favorite for sure. It's not a fan favorite, but it does bring back memories with the whole no pity and then no pity carry over to the next banner. Next, basically. Old school stuff, but it's alright. It is what it is. It is what it is. But moving on. Oh no. Sorry about that. Moving on. Is it just, oh no, we already read that. I'm still trying to get into the chaser market, Shushu. You can do it. You you can do it whenever you want, so just whenever you choose to do it, I guess. I am at 100 UMA tickets. Can I actually get to 200 UMA tickets by the time of the anniversary? Maybe. I'm not too sure. Maybe. Then Tanoki responded saying, "What's a chaser? Side games really making 3 whole different scenarios when racing. I heard there used to be a fort, but they depreciated in mid 2025. I read that whole thing out. Jeez. I said 2025 and not 2025 like I normally do. No, and then Noah responded saying, "You don't count Great Escape? I call it the Great Jibaku self-implosion." Next comment from Nova says, "And now Noki accused me of pulling on every paid banner, and I'm like, I don't." Rick says, "Only the ones you think are worth," and Nova says, "Good enough." Then Tanoki says, "I think YouTube yeeted my comment." Probably. Probably. Because if I saw that and I don't see a comment, I'm going to assume that YouTube itself had yeeted your comment. Next comment from Nova says, "You think Buena Vista would have a Mexican hat or something?" If you want to think that way, sure. If you want to think that way, sure. Or maybe if you spelled her name right. That one letter. But the U in the past would have thrown in 15k at least. Kind of surprised, disappointed, Shushu. You sure you wanted to see me do more pulls? Well, with like 13k? Or not 13k, 15k? You sure about that? Sure about that? You want to see that again? Yidhari has that crowd control option with the spinning move. You can also parry at any time during the spin. I'm biased for Yidhari. Oof. Well, the reason why I'm more biased towards Miyabi, well, it's Miyabi. So, just the character itself is the reason why. But to be honest, you need Lycon as an option for those threshold simulations. True. At this point, having any options for different teams is more valuable than just a few teams locked in place. Me to go back to what I said a couple days ago to last week, which is why I said that yeah, you can pull for what you want, but you gotta pull for what you need sometimes, because you can't just have a few teams locked down without having considerations of possibly having other teams of different types or whatever. Because eventually you're gonna reach a wall, and you ain't gonna break through because, well, you don't have the characters to finish it. Or the synergy's off, maybe. Well, we just need to count how many times we lost our 50-50s and 3.0. That way, it doesn't matter if I swipe or not. Losing the 50-50 remains the same for all poor and the rich. I hope I read that correctly. Let's go all the way to 1.9 when Vivian and Hugo. I believe it was 1.7. I know that 1.6 was the last patch in WUA. Was it 1.6? Was it 1.6? Hold on. Oh, I was gonna say it was 1.4. It's only 1.4. It didn't go all the way to 1.6. Did it? let me just Google it. Wua 1.6. No, yeah, no version. There was no 1.6. So are we playing the same game? Question mark. 1.6 last patch in Wua for the 1 point series or updates patches? Question mark. Zenless, I know for a fact did go to 1.7. Next comment says, and I think it's the last comment from Nova. It's true. Everything we have talked about here has been speculation about which Uma we would pull if they do get released somehow. All I do care about is watching Shushu pulls with less than one pity while me biting my nails in horror. I mean, it's not like I didn't have fun with those pulls. It's just could I have been more, I guess, practical with it? Maybe. Maybe. But other than that, that is pretty much it for all the comments from Nova. So thank you, Nova, for all the comments. Appreciate it as always. And to everyone who replied to Nova, was it where was I? The next comments I will be going over. I think that's what I was doing. So if there was a long pause, if it's too long, I'll cut it off. But next comments are from Tanoki, and it says, "Damn Nova, flexing on all the poors in Discord." And then Nova says, "Well, let's face it, Noki. Some people chose to be poor in gacha games." You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You just says, "Sorry, I'm one of them." Well, I guess that's what it is then. I guess that's what it is. Next comment says, what do you mean?" The comment literally says, "Speaking of targeting banners." Now I remember. You were saying speed still love, not general for me. Can only wait, what? Speed still love is not general for me. I only target general banners. We're talking about me for the most part. Yes, I do target general banners. Then it just occurred to me, wait, he only one sparked all the mandatory banners and hadn't pulled like any Umas besides the big three. He should be drowning in carrots. And then, not gonna lie, I thought you'd be like, huh, maybe it's X or Y, and then we move on. But I guess not. You assumed incorrect then. I think the main reason why we didn't move on is because, well, it obviously kept getting brought up, and the initial impression, I felt like I was suddenly getting interrogated about my carrot jewels for some reason. Like I said. So yeah. Can't let it go when, to me at the time, at least I feel like it's definitely out of the time, you know, getting questioned like that or getting questions like that and then trying to find the answer, but I don't have the answer because I already did the polls, but I don't want to mess up what, you know, that may have been a little off, but I think I caught what I said a little bit there, but uh yeah. Sorry if my response is kind of off, but I am tired. But it's okay. Yeah, if we're talking about what if it's exactly as I said, because I do remember saying I do target Or along those words where I do say that I do only go for general manners because they're what helps me the most in the long run. So why wouldn't I? That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for that. But 110 pulls on Biu Biu. Also got the new. Oh, I guess is it Boy Boy or Biu Biu? I said Biu Biu, but also got the new Tap Dance City ult. Slightly above average is good. Well, like I would, I would say so since it's cute. And then Nova replied, said, saving those Uma tickets so that I can absorb your Uma luck. Well, I guess. And then the second to last comment? No, the last comment from Tanoki says, damn, only just 5-star Turbo and Tachyon from pulling Buena Vista. Sometimes I forgot how new I am relative to many of the others. Yeah, you totally don't give off the vibe that you are newer than some of the other people. I will say that. I will say that. Then Rick says, I still don't have a 5-star Uma, but good for you. Hopefully, I'm the next guy that gets a 5-star Uma. Well, I guess you haven't really been pulling much recently, so I guess it's fine. Next comment is from someone I haven't seen in the comment section called Flaris. The childhood friend horse has arrived. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, Flaris, to be honest, but thank you. And the last comment is from Eugen, and it says, I made another stretch for Power Bourbon. I gambled my 200 times pull again to my colleague, the guy who pulled for the remaining 120 free pulls. It's like that's my draw pull, so you might see the result. From 200 pulls, got 8 SSR, but unfortunately, the good thing, 1-8 is Power Bourbon. I was hoping for at least 2 to get MOB and not using the crystal. Excuse me. But fair enough to the result will still good given the rainbow sparks appeared on 200 pulls. So my wise bourbon card rental or whoa. So my wise bourbon card friend rental card now becomes a powerful bourbon card. I hope I read that properly. Um I like the 2-draw Buena Vista due to design of outfit, but unfortunately we are on the same page for the carrots in hand, and of course I don't have spares of Christmas, and most likely new Aguri costume. I hope the alt already released. I don't even care if they are Jinx. If you what was I reading? I don't even care if they are Jinx or if they jinxed it, though. You know, I like Turbo, even they got longer for the release. True. I don't know if I read that correctly. I haven't touched the stories. I think the least story I would touch is from Jane the Rat because the attack is not compatible to my dead brain. What is the average game time for doing the agent story so I know how much time I do marathon for it? Now, first things first, if I had missed something or responded weirdly or whatever, I'm sorry. Tired. But second, average? Well, I'd probably say like 2 hours, around 2 hours. If it's more, then obviously it's a story that Zenless, it's about a character that they care about more than the others. At least I would say. But um, probably I would say like 2 hours, an hour and a half to 2 hours, because they're normally not as long as normal stories. I would assume. So about that long. But with that being said, guys, that is gonna be it for But with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for the comments because I don't see any more comments. So thank you, thank you, Nova. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Tanoki. And thank you, Flaris and Eugen for the comments. Appreciate it as always. I guess once again, I do want to say that I do apologize for all, like, maybe I guess the weirdness of the video because I might be talking about something at this time, and then the next time I'm talking about something completely different, and that I don't know, but I think I'll be okay. I think I'll be okay. Um, once I at least get some sleep. So yeah, if I did sound off or whatever, or there was like long pauses or whatever, because I do see the time. Unless I edit all of that out and just make it work, then it is what it is. But other than that, yeah, it's been a tough one for me to stay up. But once again, I do want to thank Rick, Nova, Tanoki, Laris, and Eugen for the comments. Appreciate it as always. And with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys didn't make it this far, I do want to say thank you. If you guys can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Let me know. Let me know who you guys are bringing to the League of Heroes since it is starting tonight. And if you guys are ready or somewhat ready, I wouldn't mind knowing that as well. And if there's anything else you want to talk about or ask me, just leave it down in the comment section down below. As long as appropriate, I'll go over it. And if you guys haven't joined the Discord server, link is down in the description. There's a channel called Circle Quest for those who haven't joined a circle or are looking for a circle to join. Y'all are free to join the circle that I'm in. It is called Shushu. Once you give that a search, hit request to join, or let me know that you want to join the circle. And after that, head over to the comment section or the circle request channel or Discord server. Let me know that you sent the request along with your in-game name, just so I can make sure to add you into the circle and not somebody else. But yeah, but yeah. With that being said, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you once again, and as always, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.